What's up? I'm RL.
And I'm Jenny.
Jenny and I spend a lot of time together.
And also with family and friends.
But also we like communicating and having discussions with the people in our community.
The everyday people.
So join us on Tuesdays
at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
What's up, y'all?
The Everyday People Show.
Chop it up. I'm your boy RL and she's your girl who?
Jenny.
From the block.
We have controversial topics.
I came in on this one.
Let me say this. I'm the type of person. I don't like to speak for God. I think when people say I'm saved, I think you out of pocket. I think China is having product outsourced to other countries to get under the tariffs. Y'all do know that, right?
No, they still gotta bring it. Listen, they still gotta bring it to the border.
Don't see they women going out buying black afros,
but don't dare.
And I see your point. You're trying to say that race of women do not try to look like us. We're the ones trying to look like them.
Well, but that's not true. That's not true. Yeah, that's not all the way true.
That's not true. That is
right. Thank you, ladies. I've been trying to make that point. Great guests within our own community.
Well, I won't be into that.
Oh, okay.
I cried it out. I threw it up. Cold spit. I wouldn't care what you call it. Everything in me that didn't belong, he purged it out in Corpus Christi, Texas, before that book was birthed.
I can't remember the number now, but it's in one of my books. I think I had about $10,000 to my name. I don't even know but it's something like that. And I said, oh my God.
I thought about that. So I'm like, what if he would have pulled that trigger when it got to me? You know what I mean? Because I mean, it was point blank range.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. That's crazy.
We work really well as a team. Like in business, the profit, don't mix business with pleasure, but I don't know why it works for us. Like,
and lots of fun right there. That Trumps a balloon.
And then we got to hold our emotions. We can't even cry. We love y'all, and guess what?
Nothing y'all can do.
Hey, nothing y'all can do about it. Peace. And welcome back to Overflow, the Everyday Show. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. Who we got out there? What's up? What's up with the bank at bounce? Shout it. What's up, Yvonne? What's going on?
Hey, everybody.
I am your boy R to the L, and she is your girl who?
Jenny.
From the block. What's up? One time for Bridget Grimes.
Hey, Bridget.
Yeah. What's going on in there, y'all? What's up, Jenny? What's going on?
That's a lot.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I am. I'm enjoying my time off.
You enjoy your time off?
I am. June been lazy for me, though.
You know I quit, but it'd be time to go back in no time. Wait, when do y'all go back?
I go back on the 28th. I do.
Oh, this month?
Yeah, this month.
Mm-hmm. Golly, man, this thing almost over with. It's just about over. What's up, James Creamer in the building?
Hello.
What's going on, man? We got a little show lined up. We got a good show lined up, man. We got a great guest coming in today. We're gonna talk a little bit about the verdict that never happened, man. Everybody was sitting around waiting on the Puff Daddy verdict to come.
Standing outside.
Standing outside. Yeah, that's standing outside waiting on the Puff Daddy trial to come to an end, man. Dragging it out, man. And it's So, and we also got a good guest coming on, man. A good friend of mine, Milton Creamer, is coming on to tell his story. Of how he defeated drug addiction. Yep. He might not think he defeated it. I went to one of his anniversaries, sobriety anniversary, and they always. One thing I've learned when they're going through that addiction, it's a continuing battle.
Yeah.
So, but he's 10 years sober, y'all. 10 years sober.
Yeah. That's
10 years sober. And he will be here at 7:30. I told him let us warm. We gotta warm it up for him a little bit, y'all. Yeah. So, cause this is, to me, I think this is something big, man. I think a lot of people, when they see people, you know, when people are on drugs, we look at them, we look down on them, and I think when you recover, I think it should be the opposite. We should look up to them, man. It's
an accomplishment to overcome something like that.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts on that? You know what I'm saying?
I'm excited to have him on so we can hear details about the personal journey for him, because I've known people that have been on drugs that have a story as well that they overcame, and the latter part of their life is amazing. So it's just, he's a testimony, and we're going to get to see just how that works.
Yeah, man, he's got a high. I love his spirit. That's why I like to go support it, man. I think it's important. I try to show up, man. I try to be the one to show up for people. You know what I'm saying? You know, people have parties and people invite us to their parties and stuff like that, and we go and stuff like that. And I didn't take it for granted that he invited me to his 10th anniversary of sobriety, man. I took that serious, man. I was excited to go, you know, celebrate with him. What's up, Bridget Grimes in the building? We got Yvonne in the building. Nothing much. Said nothing much. We got James Bo Creamer in the building. What's up, Bo? We got that girl Tammy Nash in the building. What's up, Tammy? What's going on? What's going on, y'all? We want y'all to do us just one favor, y'all. We want y'all to share this live. We ain't gonna ask y'all for no cash app. We ain't gonna tell y'all send no money to cash app and nothing like that. Only thing we ask y'all to do is to share this live. And we got a guest coming up, man. It's 7:08. He gonna be busting up in this thing. I told him just, you know what I'm saying, get your thoughts together, man. He gonna bring him in at 7:30. You know what I'm saying? We didn't want to give him a whole 2 hours, man, and peppering him, you know what I'm saying? But I'm so proud of him, man. He's also accomplished a personal goal that we're gonna talk about, you know what I'm saying, and figure out, you know, let's see where did it all start? Where did it begin? Because I think in order to know the story, you got to start the story at the beginning. You don't start the story at the end.
Right. And I'm looking for the inspiration that's going to come behind it for me. Yeah. And I'm sure y'all will too. I love to see stories of people overcoming things that look like it's impossible. So
yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the inspiration. I love this guy, man. You know what I'm saying? I love when people, you know, overcome things. Ain't nothing like an overcomer, man. You know what I'm saying? Nothing like an overcomer, man. Tonight he will be here on the Overflow, the Everyday People Show. This show is for you guys. You know what I'm saying? We just moderating the show. You know what I'm saying? I'm the boy Ari, and I had to bring Jen in, man, to get a little eye candy, man. You know what I'm saying? See, I hit the wrong button. I thought it. See, I thought to hit the last button. What the last button there? Okay, look at the last button.
Look, you can't even find it.
So I can't even find the last button. We can do find it right there.
Oh my
but
goodness.
anyway, listen. But until he come, y'all, what are y'all thoughts on the P. Diddy trial? It's all the evidence has been submitted, and the jury's deliberating. Yeah. But here's the thing about it. Here's what I think. Here's what I think about the Diddy trial. They're not going to let him leave that courtroom without a conviction. Without a conviction, because the judge told him to go back in there, go try it again. They just keep coming back.
Yeah,
and they don't want it to be a hung jury. They don't want him to leave without getting something out of this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So what's your thoughts on? What's y'all thoughts on the pity? Y'all think he's gonna be guilty on all charges, guilty on some charges, or he's just gonna walk free? He's innocent on all charges.
I think it's gonna be some charges. I don't think all. It's because the way that it's going, it's looking like some of it cannot be proven. So the evidence that they have can't be proven, and I just think that having a life sentence, I just don't see that happening. That's just my personal feeling. I don't see that happening.
I don't see. I'm now, don't get me wrong, y'all. P. Diddy, he been doing some stuff. He been doing some dirty, man. He been doing some dirty. But I don't do it. Because I know I'm not gonna throw people under the bus. I know some people don't fought their old lady over the years, and they ain't. Do you think it's worth him going to jail forever? can we take him and his money and make it some good out of it in the neighborhood? Make him do things in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, what they call it?
Community service.
Community service. Like do community service, and he got a whole lot of money. That money can go a stretch a whole lot of ways in community service because the girl Cassie, she already got her money, so I don't see what's the problem. She never filed for tough.
Well, I think it's about bringing him down.
What's up, my brother Al?
Hey, life. I think at the end of it, they're trying to just bring him down because I noticed in the news today they kept talking about, he could lose all of his money and stuff like that. So
what's up, Speak Life? We love you too, my sister. Yeah. We love you too. You're we're gonna have you back on her soon. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, love you too.
Yeah, so
I think they just want to bring him down. Just with the way that they're speaking, it's like, it's this anticipation of everything just falling for him personally, like his assets, all of his money. With the way it's gone with Cassie, I think for her, she is in a place where she's not, looking for more than what she's gotten. I think it's just about bringing him down. That's just what I see.
And I think they use her that video had nothing to do with the trial, y'all.
Yeah, that imagery.
That video had nothing to do with what they charged him with. Yeah. But I think the video, they use the video. It's one thing about a visual. Yeah. When you tell somebody, oh, he jumped on his old lady, but when you see how he did it, it's different. You know what I'm saying? Because look, like I said, I know dudes don't jump on their old lady. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. If you're from the hood, you don't see the dude jump on his old lady. And look, I grew up in a household like that. So, you know what I'm saying? I grew up in a household where it was some physical, you know what I'm saying? Where my mama was, you know what I'm saying, was physically abused. So I'm not condoning that. But what I'm saying is that worth taking his whole life away because a RICO charge, I think, you have to do all your time, I think. With a RICO charge, federal RICO charge. What's up? Speaking of RICO, what's up, my brother Rico Robinson in the house?
Hey.
Speaking of RICO,
yeah, I think
they already have a verdict on 4 of the 5 charges. They couldn't agree on a verdict on the charge number 1, and the judge asked the jury to go back and try to come up with a verdict. And that's my thing about it, Rico. So why is the judge telling them to go? It's almost like the judge coercing them to come up with a conviction. It's almost like the judge. What's up, Fifi? What's going on? Fifi in the building. Y'all share this live, y'all, please. It's almost like the judge is coercing them to either come up with a conviction, because that juror holding out. When the jury hold out, he normally don't agree with the charges. Right. So if one jury say, I don't think he did it, they can't convict them on that last count that they got. And I think that number 1 is, if I'm not mistaken, is that RICO charge that would really put the nail in his jail cell coffin. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And it's interesting the terms that he used about following instructions. It's like, what does that mean?
Yeah, follow his instructions.
What does that even mean?
I mean, it should be no instruction to follow. If they heard if the jury heard both sides' evidence, that should to go deliberate and come back. Yep. What instructions are you giving them? Right. That's what we won't. They won't tell us the instructions that the judge is giving them. You know what I'm saying? I guess the judge is telling them what you can get him on and what you can't get him on. Right. But he's doing it in a way to make the man seem guilty. Like y'all got all the evidence to convict him. There's no reason y'all shouldn't convict them. But one juror said, "Look, it don't come to that the RICO charge." Now he did some of this stuff like taking prostitutes across state line. I mean, you can't. I mean, some of this stuff is, to me, I don't think makes sense. If I'm going, let's just say if I had to pick a prostitute. let's just say I go to Alabama and I call a prostitute from Atlanta to come meet me in Alabama. How is that a federal charge? I mean, it's almost like.
I think a lot of the divide is like, for some people, they feel like why would anybody be coerced? Like, you know what I'm saying? And then some people are like, well, you know, he has that power, so he probably did. But I personally feel like, why would he have to? And I'm not there, I wasn't there, but why would he have to pull somebody in forcefully to be a part of something
Delana,
like that?
what's up?
You know what I'm saying?
On?
So I struggle with the forcing part. That's the part that I struggle to believe, like how not that a person, he couldn't be capable of it, but I just don't see why a woman would have to be forced to participate in something like that, especially with who he is. You know what I'm saying? He's a well-known person. But here's the thing.
We know who he is. We don't know who those women are, because the women, they shaded too now. You know what I'm saying? The girl Cassie, she wanted to be a part of some of those freak offs.
Well, a lot of people, a lot of these women know who he is. It doesn't matter who they are. They already know who he is. I don't know anybody on this earth that don't know who he is.
They know he got a lot of money, and he can pay for what he wants. He can pay like he weigh. He paying like he win. You know what I'm saying? That's how the game goes. You know what I'm saying? Is that a federal charge? If I'm paying you to come somewhere, you don't have to come. If I pay you to come get with me, you don't have to come. You're going because you want that money. You know what I'm saying? So, if anything, you can charge these women for prostitution. You can't charge him for a criminal act because they coming to him. He paying them to come. They call girls. You're a call girl. When I pay you, and I call you to come, you come. So it's not a racketeering. I don't think he's a bad guy. He's a freaky guy. He's a very freaky guy.
I just don't think they have hard evidence that women were coerced. You know what I'm saying?
Not for a RICO charge.
Yeah.
They don't. Of course, they were coerced. Money. When you pay a woman,
you know what I mean, like force.
Yeah, no, they weren't forced. They was, of course, they were coerced. Money will coerce you to get somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Money gonna coerce you to go somewhere to get that money. You know what I'm saying? But was it a RICO charge? What is a enterprise, like a criminal enterprise, like these his girls and they going with him wherever he say go. You know what I'm saying? They just people look, when you go to a different city, I'm pretty sure these celebrity man, they call up a girl wherever they at. Mm-hmm. And some of them take girls with them. They'll fly a girl in. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna fly you in, baby. Is that a federal charge because I'm paying you to come be with me?
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see what's
so what
happen.
They did, they used that video when he jumped on Cassie, which is a horrible video. Yeah. I don't condone that at all, y'all. They used that in this trial when that video had nothing to do with this trial. This video had nothing to me, and I don't think it had nothing to do with this trial. They used it to.
Well, I think they use it to paint a picture of his ability, like he's capable of doing those things.
To show his aggression,
and I get it
with women. Say, look, he's a violent guy, but was he violent in this moment? That's what I'm trying to say. So they use it to taint the jury, to taint the public opinion. It's all about public opinion. You know what I'm saying? And they doing it. And if y'all not paying attention, they taking down all the black men with money. If you black celebrity with money, they're coming for you. Especially, I wish I had the video when Puff Daddy was talking about he was going to create a black political party. Yeah. He was going to put a lot of money.
How many years ago was that? That was.
It went. I don't think it was too long. It went too many years ago.
It was about 4 or 5 years ago.
It went too long ago. It went too long ago. Well, Puff Daddy was going to put a lot of money behind a black movement. And when he did that, they started coming up with stuff, start talking to people to get stuff on him. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them be guilty, but it don't be guilty of federal crime. It just people are freaky, man.
I think it's a setup to bring him down. So I don't condone any of whatever that might be true, of course, or whatever we've seen. I think simultaneously, I think it's just to bring him down because he is a Black male, and it's only so far they're going to allow you to go when they see you starting to wanting to make a difference in our community.
Yeah, and
community means all of us.
No, they did the same thing to Tyler Perry. When Tyler Perry he made a speech at the BET Awards talking about how they doing Black people. And the next couple of days, they dropped something on him. They dropped that out on him. And they showing people how freaky these people are. They freaky, but being freaky is not a crime. You know what I'm saying? Because man, but if some of us get out. If you go in some of our closet, some of the freaking stuff we done did, man, you'll be like, wow, he did that. You know what I'm saying? So,
I just feel at the heart of it, you just have to watch yourself. Like they'll go 20 years back and find something you've done to bring you down.
And the cancer thing that happened in 2016.
Yeah.
That was almost 10 years ago, but we just not getting it because they need it now. They wanted to get him in the now, so they went back 16 years and got that video.
But then he paid somebody off to I guess get rid of the video.
Allegedly, he paid. He tried to offer money for that video. Of course, you don't want that video. You're a very popular man. You don't want that video, but they try to say he paid for the video. To stop,
be removed or something.
To stop, but this trial ain't going on. Then you know what I'm saying. So so
yeah, it's gonna be something to see the outcome of that.
But you notice what's going on. But here's the thing: there's always every time something is going on in the government, they give us a big distraction. And the distraction now is for. I don't know if y'all know about this big
beautiful bill.
This big beautiful bill. She talking about why they name it the big beautiful bill if it's so bad. I mean, like, this is what I told Jim. I say if you're going on a blind date with a dude named Pretty Tony, and you see once you get to the blind date, you see Pretty Tony is ugly. You gonna say, "Hold on, why they call you Pretty Tony?" You know, so what they do, they try to put a good name on it. So people can say, okay, it must be a nice bill because they call it the big, beautiful bill. But once it comes out, people gonna see that a lot of look, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all something about this bill. The Senate passed it and it's going back to the House. Of course, the House because the Senate, the House, and it seems like the Supreme Court they're all in Trump pocket. I've never seen a government so out of whack like it is now. Like it's like whatever Trump want, they giving it to him. They're not even debating it. They're not even having debates like they used to. Like when what the name John McCain did the thumb down. It was one man held out to keep Obamacare. They're not even debating it. They all lining up to get behind Trump. And it's almost like we're in a totalitarian state. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like he gets whatever he wants, and if he don't get it. He gonna say something about you and put your stuff out. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's crazy, man. Because the last time he was president, they allow him to nominate three Supreme Court justices, and they all vote. Every time Trump wants something, they vote for him for what he wants. You know what I'm saying? So
he got them all in his pocket.
He got them all in his pocket, y'all. So it's going to be a lot of stuff cut out, y'all. Like health care. They finna cut a lot of people off health care.
Planned Parenthood. Funding for that.
Yeah, funding for that. And a lot of Planned Parenthood get a bad rap anyway. Right. But they finna cut out a lot of stuff, man, like SNAP benefits, food stamps, all this stuff finna get cut back. In the next, I'm saying in the next 2 years, man, we're gonna see the ramifications of the big, beautiful bill.
It's gonna hurt a lot of people.
Yeah, the big, ugly, beautiful bill is what they need to call it. You know what I'm saying? So, listen. Do I think Puff Daddy he gonna do it almost over a year already, right? So, do I think he need to get some time? Maybe he did some stuff. I think he might need to do a little time, maybe a couple of years, take a little hit money. But do he need to be in prison for 25, 30, 40 years? No, man, it don't rise to that level. That's my take on it. Y'all might have a different take. Y'all free to have your own take on it. Guilty, not guilty, guilty on some charge. But listen, but y'all be prepared for the big beautiful bill, man. It's gonna be beautifully bad. So, but anyway, y'all, listen. It's time for our guest, man. I call him friend. I call him a friend, man. And I'm so proud of the guy, man. I'm so proud of his transformation. Y'all see me posting stuff about him because I'm really proud of him. And I think sometimes we have to give people the kudos when it's due. You know what I'm saying? We got to affirm people. Sometimes you have to affirm people to keep them on the narrow. You know what I'm saying? Because we just don't know what he go through on the day-to-day basis. But tonight we gonna find out how it all started, where he's at now, and what he got in store for the future. So you want to say something about him? You want to say something about it? Sometimes I get excited.
It's okay.
It's
okay. Like, I'm ready. Like, I'm ready to be inspired. I'm just ready to be inspired. I'm excited about it. I'm just ready to hear him talk.
You ready?
I got questions too.
So. You ready to hear him talk? Okay, y'all.
Yes.
So without further ado, we bring to the stage Mr. Milton Creamer.
Right. Welcome.
Hello, everybody.
What's going on with you, my brother?
Oh man, just still trying to maintain. Just appreciate you inviting me to come on. Even though as nervous as I am, I'm a kind of laid back, shy type guy.
I don't see you in action, man. I don't see you control the room, man. So I know you ready for it. You know what I'm saying? I don't see you control the room, man. I see how people just love on you, man. And I'm proud of you, man. I'm pretty sure everybody, in our community, we proud of you, man. You didn't just fight off addiction. I know it's still a fight. But you're getting in there, you're trying to bring other people back. You know what I'm saying? Bring people back to reality. You know what I'm saying? So we appreciate you, man, for coming on.
Thank you. Yeah, and I appreciate it. It's an ongoing journey. I know I do appreciate the kudos and I think you mentioned something about he's a former addict or something like that.
Yeah, but I remember what y'all said when I want you to declare that you always an addict. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
but to me, if you're not using you're. But I know how y'all doing the program to stay in line, so y'all continue to tell yourself that you are. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. You know what I'm saying? But to me, I'm proud of you. You're 10 years sober, so that's a long time. You know what I'm saying? So
yes, and I mean, but the difference between me still admitting that I'm an addict. Today, I'm a recovering addict.
Okay.
That's all.
So y'all always in the recovery state, man. So we appreciate you coming on, my brother. So if y'all watching, y'all have any question y'all want to ask him, man. Maybe y'all know somebody dealing with an addiction. It don't have to be drugs. It could be alcohol. It could be sex. I mean, porn. I mean, an addiction is an addiction, man. You know what I'm saying? It could be. Well, I got a food addiction, so I'm not
and what makes a person an addict is not the drugs. Drugs is one of in drugs, food, and sex. Those are symptoms of the disease of addiction. That what makes us addict. The disease itself, and it has two main components: obsession and compulsions. That I've learned, because I do a little studying on it myself. I'm speaking from my experience.
Okay, man, that's all we want. Your experience. You can't, you know what I'm saying? That's why we got you here, so you can speak from your experience. But your experience might can help somebody else through their experience. So here's what we're gonna do, man. We're gonna go all the way to the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Okay. If you got any questions you don't want to answer, just say pass, man. You know what I'm saying? So, but it ain't gonna be nothing. You know what I'm saying? Out of the ordinary. You know what I'm saying? So the first question we want to ask you, man, do you remember the first time you used You know, and this is something I always wanted to know. I always want to ask somebody, what was you thinking that first time before you used, what was going through your mind? Like, what state of mind were you in? Like, that's what I want to know.
I mean, if you look at, by me looking at the using aspect, it's just like getting high off recreational drugs, right? But I first took a first drink. I might have been 6 or 7 years old when I stole a beer from my mom and dad. And my mom and dad, they both was alcoholics. And both of them deceased now, though. They both was alcoholics. But when I hit my very first joint, I was almost 12 years old.
Let me ask you this. Were you ever curious about using drugs, or was it just that you were just exposed to it to start and it kind of, it was just there, or were you curious? Like sometimes, people can have this mindset that I'll never, but were you curious about it?
It was pretty much curiosity.
Okay.
And was and one part of aspect of it all was kind of fitting in with the in crowd. Okay. We call that environmental.
Gotcha. Like peer pressure a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of peer pressure as well.
Okay. All right.
So what I was pretty much saying that like the first time, like when you got, because I don't smoke weed, I drank, because a lot of people don't look at like beer and weed as like a drug, but it's a gateway. It could be a gateway. I'm talking about the hard stuff, the stuff that you like. Okay, you know what I'm saying? You know the stuff I'm talking about, right?
Oh, I believe you mentioned thinking about maybe the hard stuff. Like the hardest one was for me to stop using was crack.
Yeah.
Now the whole game changed.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, when was the first time you say, okay, I'm finna try this right here? You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I think when crack hit the scene for me was back in 1983. But I had already been exposed to freebasing, which is a higher form of crack. Crack was a lower form of smoking. Because it's cheaper, made with different chemicals.
Yeah.
But the crack was more addictive though, and we didn't know that. I didn't know it anyway. But anyway, I ended up smoking on it. I mean, on a 31-year run with it. Like in between that, what increased my habit was when I was diagnosed in 1996 with the HIV virus. I was contemplating suicide, and my suicide ideation was about jumping off the 285 bridge right there on Bankhead going to the Blue Flame. But I was too much of a coward to jump, so I come up with another bright idea. I was gonna smoke myself to death. So that's when I went on that run on crack. And obviously God had another plan. Me smoking myself to death didn't work,
Okay. So the next question that we were wanting to ask is like, what were any emotions that you had that maybe you were trying to escape? And so you pretty much just answered it.
Okay, about the HIV virus?
Yes, you were trying to cope with that. Okay.
Yeah, it was hard for me to accept that. But today I do, because 19 of these, I mean, this year here make the 29th year since I was diagnosed, right? Mm-hmm. And 19 of those years I was dying from the virus. Today I live with it. And I've been undetectable the last 10 years,
Okay, what's up, man?
Awesome.
What's up? Yeah. Okay, next question. What was the impact of your physical and mental health during that time?
Oh, my physical? Wow, I got a picture up here on my wall. You probably couldn't see it if I showed it to you. The physical aspect. It was like my appearance was so distorted. The teeth were decaying. I lost my teeth. And by the way, taxpayers, the government, whoever bought me some new teeth back in 2017, right?
Okay, all right.
And I'm proud of them too. I just got a new set about a month ago.
Hey man, you looking good, man. Smile, man. They look good, man.
Thank you. Yeah, they are mine now. They'll let you know. But anyway, teeth decaying and weight was, weight loss. Cause when I went into recovery, I think I weighed maybe 110 to 115 pounds. But today, heavy as I ever been, like I got up to 172. Today, went to the doctor last week. I was 173.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Damn, my brother, what's up, man? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so you're doing good, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Even in this process, like being in recovery, like being connected to the NA fellowship, they offer you. I think they give you. They made one promise, but I received a lot. I have received a lot of gifts since I've been in recovery, and that one promise is relief from active addiction. Not if you follow their way, you're pretty much guaranteed not to use drugs if you follow the program.
Oh, okay.
But even though I've heard of people's, many people have relapse. I heard a friend of mine just relapsed. She had celebrated 31 years. Another brother celebrated 35 years clean, in the process, 35 years clean. And for some reason, he had like 90 days back now, and that's why I say we never fully recover.
Okay, yeah. I understand.
It's a fight every day.
Yeah, it's and it gets easier. Not say I can't say easier, but you get more mindful of it by going through the journey of the 12 step. That way helps me to keep me on the straight and keep it up front. Like when I got into what makes us addicts, it's not the drugs, it's not our behavior, it's the disease of addiction. And and what makes me high. I got to learn how to identify when the disease is active. Because when I get caught up in obsessive, compulsive, self-centered routine that leads to nowhere, but to emotional, compulsive, and self-centered routine that leads to physical, mental, and spiritual and emotional decay. In other words, effed up.
Yeah, man, and that's the thing, and this is why I'm so proud of you, man. Because I remember the rough days. I remember your rough days, man. And people be want to kick you around and don't want you around. You know what I'm saying? So I proudly stand with you now, man. So anytime you got a milestone, I'm there. I was upset about you. I'm gonna let you tell them about it later on in the show, which the compliment you just did lately. I was upset because I wasn't there, you know what I'm saying? So I'm a little upset on that, but I'm gonna let it ride, you know what I'm
saying? Okay. But anyway, that's pretty much what I do. Try to keep it up front and don't ever forget that I am an addict. And I'll be dealing with the disease of addiction to the day I die.
So when you say 31, so how long was you on crack cocaine?
31 years.
31 years. So this is my question. How in the world are you paying for that stuff, man? So
and it was a full-time job now.
I know that's a full-time job. How were you paying for it? You know what I'm saying?
But we put up what you call finding means and ways to get more. That's all we need, and it just I didn't realize I was like, we didn't call it. I guess some might say you live in a certain way. But to me, you just existed. Today, I'm learning how to live. To me, that's a big difference.
What I'm saying, did you have what you working in?
Oh yeah,
was you just hawking people's stuff, man?
I always worked, and of course I did. Sometimes I did a little stealing as well. Because I worked over in the Carolinas. I was doing landscape for almost 35 years. Going from because we did the governor's mansion way back in the early 70s, right? And then we took, we installed sod, shrub, but we did a lot of work up in all over the Carolinas. But I was still out there on crack. But like I said, it just got worse during the HIV virus thing. But And sometime I, lied, stole to get money, tell people that let me borrow money and never pay them back, stuff like that. And of course, borrowing my check up when it's time to get paid on Friday, broke on Saturday, or be paid on Friday and be broke on Friday. It's just a vicious cycle. Sad to say though, but it is what it is, or was what it was, rather.
Yeah. So with going through all of these changes and stuff, like how did it affect your relationship with your family, like your close family and your friends? Did it draw a wedge between you and them, or were they like stuck by you, throughout the whole time?
It's pretty much of a kind of a wedge, but today we more closer today because, they accept me for who I am today. And like, even the people such as Lamar, he's like family. He know my sisters and brothers as well. I mean, Robert, rather,
It's okay. They know we're cool.
I'm still on this, from when I knew you when you was young, we lived directly across the street from each other, right?
Yeah.
He mostly hung out with my little brother and them, but they kind of shied away from me, after they found out, but I was out there on them drugs and didn't trust me, stuff like that. And to didn't pretty much want me around, that's why I pretty much stayed gone a lot too. But even when they started treating me different, when they found out I had the HIV virus, like they was afraid it was gonna be, like it's contagious, right? Cause I can remember staying with my sister, she was saying, you keep this plate right here, you the only one eat out this plate in this silverware, stuff like that. But then I had to go and educate myself. Then I started educating them about it.
Yeah, so it was a fear of that back then because nobody really didn't know how you could contact.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
So you know what I'm saying. So it was horrible that it had to be that way. But do you understand? Do you understand why it had to be that way?
Yes,
know what I'm saying? I
do. I understand the things that I've done to them. Even even I was not even what the 12-step helps me to make amends to them and not look at what was done to me. Just most of what I and get to a place of forgiveness, not only for them but actually forgive myself.
Was there ever anyone, even if it was just one person, that tried to intervene for support, no matter what? Was there at least one person?
Yes, one of my sister. She and I, we be the same age every year for a day. She's deceased now. She passed back in 2011, and she's born the day before I turned 1 year old, right? Now we celebrated our birthday together every year, and she was always very supportive.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, so I didn't know your birthday was in June.
Yeah, actually, this past
my birthday in June, but you're not a Gemini though, right?
No, I'm an early.
Oh, man, y'all more likely been a Gemini June. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think it's Cancer starts around 22nd of June, and my birthday is June.
Yeah, I say
June the 28th.
June like me, you know what I'm saying?
That's
had probably the connection we got. You know what I'm saying?
This past Saturday, I just turned 68 years young.
Oh wow!
Hey, man,
how old are you?
68 years young.
Wow,
Yeah.
you do not look it.
6 to 8 years, man.
Man, by the grace of God.
Yo, you got to do it big in 2 years for the CMO, man. We gonna do it big, man.
Yeah, man.
It gotta be non-alcoholic though. You know what I'm saying? We gotta let everybody know.
I still celebrate it every year now on my knees first thing, and giving thanks, and being able to make another a year around the sun, right? Another trip around the sun, and just giving that thanks with gratitude when that was never the case for me in the past. When I got into this process of recovery, it was back in 2014, at the end of 2014, I was 57 years old, right? And I feel much younger than I did when I came in. It's just like, how do you call that Benjamin Button guy, aging backward?
Aging backward.
Wow.
Sometimes I feel that way, but I have to remind myself. you're not getting no younger, you know.
Yeah, man. But I know you're glad that you get to celebrate birthdays sober now. So you know what I'm saying.
And that is the key right there.
So how do you celebrate them then? So I mean, you know how we do it, man. We celebrate. We gonna get taking shots and beer. You know what I'm saying. So how do you celebrate it? You know what I'm saying. Keep from going backwards. You know what I'm saying.
I mean, back a few times I went to the Georgia Aquarium, me and my daughters, and year before last, me and her and the grandkids went. I have grandchildren now, I get to be a grandfather, and that didn't have to be, because I was on my way to the graveyard the way I was living my, that downward spiral, right? And just like when I was talking about, like things, you just said it yourself. I do get to celebrate these birthdays, because I tried to change my whole diet, my eating habits, try to add a few more birthdays to my life, ride my bike, go jogging 3 to 5 miles. When I was 40 years old, I couldn't even run that far, but today I can,
You jog 3 to 5 miles?
Yeah, I live right here by the Beltline, right?
Man, I thought I was doing some walking 4 miles.
I'm telling you, see, this is what I'm talking about. Being inspired.
We walk 2 miles?
3.
We walk 3
trying to get to 4.
I thought I was one up on you. And you really almost 70 jogging 5 miles. I'm like, man, so I got to get my game up then.
It take a while to get there. We do it a little bit at a time, me and my sponsor, and actually I quit smoking cigarettes. This October will be 10 years. I smoked cigarettes for 37 years. And I'm
man, that's what's up, man.
I end up with what you call that COPD. They call it emphysema, though. It's a form of COPD. It's more of like mild version, but I still use the albuterol. They call it the rescue inhaler. For most people that has asthma, but I don't have to use it like a regular basis. I just use it when I get short-winded, like when I run. Like sometimes I have to run and catch the bus or something, But anyway, I'm just grateful that I, be more energetic these days.
I know that's right, man. What's up? So, what did you get from substance when was some kind of euphoria or something that you said, I got it? You know what I'm saying? Or did it take you away somewhere? You know what I'm saying?
It's like it pretty much was an escape. But that's what the euphoria does, like keeps you at that high, and then when you're coming back down, you're gonna want to pick it back up, feed it again, feeding that urge, and like you said, it was all about the euphoria.
Oh, okay.
And did it take your mind off of, the other things that were bothering you? Did it take your mind off of it?
Yes, it did, because I even like pushed stuff down that from my childhood and to the dealing with the HIV virus, right? But I still had to get to a place of acceptance, and being able to to free myself from that. I didn't know, like I had became a, like how people be like going in and out of jail. And going to prison, but prison and jails was not my story. Much time I ever did in jail in my entire life was 14 days. It seemed like to me it was a life sentence, right? But little did I know I had created a prison of my own mind. Like those feeling of worthlessness, selflessness, helplessness, and all that kind of stuff, right? And losing my identity, and not only losing my mind, actually I lost me in that, in that active addiction, in that drug-induced lifestyle, right? And what helped find me is that journey through the steps, right? That first step we talk about admitting that I'm powerless over addiction, that my life had become unmanageable, and it also breaks it down to about like we're not only powerless over addiction, but not only powerless over the drugs, but powerless over our addiction. And it breaks down what makes us addicts, right? But then they're gonna have this unmanageability. I outward unmanageability, like going in and out of jail and being homeless, stuff like that, and of going around bombing for money, whatever. That's and that inward unmanageability when you have that internal controversies about yourself. No low self-worth, low self-esteem, hell, they, got to a place where I didn't have any esteem. But today I do.
Yo, you got it today. I know you got
I had to have come on here and talk to you guys.
Wow. So let me ask you this. At what point did you, like, was there a turning point? Like, what do you remember happening where you thought to yourself, I need to make a change? Like, what was the turning point for you?
Okay, good question. And I often love to talk about this, right? It was like 6 months prior to me, 6 months into 2014, around June of 2014, I went to my dentist appointment. They was extracting teeth, and he looked at my chart. He saw how thin I was, and he said, you know what, Mr. Creamer, if you don't change your life, you won't see the end of 2014. And by the grace of God, the last time I used was December the 26th. I found this way to went into detox. And then I been on the journey of recovery. When I got out, I got into treatment and been in treatment ever since. So my clean date is December the 30th, 2014.
All right, man. What's up, man?
But it's just like didn't know what I was gonna be able to stay down, cause they all talked about God, and I didn't have no relationship with God. I was raised up in the church, but I kind of shied away from God, because of all the bad things that I had done. I didn't think God would want to have anything to do with me. But then I had to tap into the part about the God that's within me.
Yes.
And I had lost that. And I mean, like I said, I had lost me out there, but finding me back, I don't ever want to lose me again.
All right, then, my brother. Another question is,
what were some of the challenges and consequences that you experienced because of your addiction?
Wow. You stay broke, of course, no money. Yes, of course, and never had my own independent living, and even with relationships, and I was in them, and I was just, the longest one I ever stayed in was when me and this lady stayed together in Madison, Georgia, built a house, and I started to mainline, like shooting up. And I ended up coming back to Atlanta in 1983. That's when I got on crack. And 10 years later, that's when I was diagnosed with the HIV virus. And 10 years after that, she died from full-blown AIDS. I don't know if I contracted it from her, or I contracted it from the unprotected sex, or when I was sharing needles. But, cause only way I found out that I had the virus, I had an accident on the job. Running this machine, and I kind of scraped the pupil of my eye, and I had to go to the doctor, and they took a drug test, and I knew it was gonna come back positive. So I got in front of it and told the boss man that I need to go to treatment. I know I have a dirty urine. Cause other than that, they was gonna fire me anyway, right? So I went into treatment for 14 days, and the 7th day I was there, they had drawn my labs and called me in the room and told me I had the HIV virus. And that hit me like a ton of bricks, and that's from that, I just, people were dying from the virus, all around by then, around then in 1996. Cause I never went and got the HIV test myself, cause I looked at it as a gay disease, but, at the time, that was a lot of them looking, because I know I hadn't had sex with no men and nothing like that, so I'm good, right?
Yeah, so, that's what we thought back then.
Yeah, that was part of the stigma.
Yeah,
but anyway, it's to me, I still look back as it was an act of God then, and doing something for me that I couldn't do for myself. Because I probably would have been went on to the bitter end, because I never would have went and got tested, and I'm just grateful for that. But of course, I kept on using though, until 2014. But that was way back in '96, though, when I was diagnosed. But
did it make you want to use it more? Like, did that drive you to use more once you found out?
Yeah, that was part of my escape.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess part of still in denial, I guess, because I think I maybe went 5 years after I was diagnosed before I even sought treatment. Because the only way I sought treatment, my dad died from the full-blown AIDS, and the clinic that I used to go and pick up his medicine, I asked for some brochures and asked them about how do people seek treatment. And right now today, I still go to that same clinic for my treatment. 29 years later.
Wow.
Yeah, but it might sound like a sad story, but it's
it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
To a glory story.
Yeah, we know the ending, so we know where you at now. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like you use it now. So we had to get people to see where you come from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I can feel the energy of your success along the way as you're telling it. So I don't feel sad.
Okay.
I'm listening intently and kind of soberly, but it's like your energy just speaks volumes of your recovery process. It's just inspiring. Can't say that enough.
Yeah, and I knew you would be good with these questions because I've seen you in action. I've seen you command the room. I've seen you command the room. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying to myself, damn, you know what I'm saying? And everybody loved you. They loved you, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you deal with people with. I think people feel love from you. They feel a genuine caring from you. When you speak, you genuinely care about the people who you trying to get through this program themselves. You know what I'm saying? They feel that, man, and I think everybody you know what I'm saying? They kind of when people command the room. You know what I'm saying? He ain't commanding the room, but I was sitting in the back, let's watch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Watch, you know what I'm saying?
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this process. It's like coming from a place of from desperation to passion. I have a passion for this recovery process. Okay. And we have a book called The Journey Continues, and it has a passage in there that talks about from desperation to passion. Today I have a passion for recovery.
Okay, Jen, what's the next question?
Okay, so we've dug heavy into like your beginnings and how you got started and the effects that it had on you and people around you. So what are some of your future goals that you have for yourself now that you're in recovery?
Oh, wow. Now, like I say, I get to be a grandfather, hopefully, add a few more birthdays to my life, and I'll be with my daughter. She's not too long moved back from Nairobi, Kenya, then went to South America, Costa Rica. But now they just got her house last week in Colorado. But we get a chance to like FaceTime with each other now, because and
was she military?
No, actually her husband and her, she's actually she retired from American Airlines. I was able to, she and I, we was reintroduced. She was at the age of 22 when I last saw her. She was like 15 years old. Like 7 years later, at the age of 22, she and I've been reunited, and I just had the money to send her to airline school up in Dayton, Ohio, and she earned her wings, became an airline stewardess. And she flew all over during the pandemic. Though she actually had some stress related, job related stress, and so they sent her to see a therapist, and then she eventually resigned from the airline, and and this guy that she met, they ended up getting married, and 6 months later she was pregnant with twins.
And you got how the twins are now?
They just turned 3 this past the day after Valentine's Day on the 15th of February.
Okay, then what's so up,
sweet.
Man? Wow. So when you was talking, I was thinking about a song, some spiritual song. It's almost like you're taking back what the devil stole from you. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking about the song "Faithful." Faithful is our God. On reaping the harvest, God promised me, take back what the devil stole from me.
Wow.
And I rejoice today.
Yeah, man. You know,
even though I was thinking about that song, like, man, because you mentioned that you now have a relationship back with your daughter. You know what I'm saying?
And that's one. That's really meaningful. But that's like one of the. We was talking about this process also gives you, and we make one promise, but many gifts, and that's one of the gifts that I've received. I've received many gifts since I've been in this process, even like getting cured from the hepatitis C. Even of course I received the dentures from the taxpayers, of course. That's a gift. And my health has improved, and I learned how to read my health chart, right? And I didn't even know that I had the full blown AIDS in 2012. And maybe that's God was keeping that from me, because I probably would have gave up on life. That's the way I view it, But I learned that in 2017. I was like almost 2 years clean when I was able to read my chart. It was up to 8 pills a day then, but today I take 1 pill a day, and it's still been undetectable. My health has improved. And it's kind of like reverse the virus from AIDS to /HIV.
So let me ask you something. When because I hear this on commercials, when they say undetectable, what that mean? Like you don't have it, or what does that mean?
You lower your chances of passing it on to someone else.
Oh, okay.
And now they got this thing called U equals U. They call it. In the HIV community, call it undetectable equals untransmittable. If you're being compliant to your medication, you actually can't pass it on to anyone else, as long as you stay healthy. And they also have this here injectable that you, instead of taking a pill every day, you take a shot every other month. I didn't want to take the shot. They paid me $50 to come and see about it. It's like a hypodermic needle, and they shoot you in your butt with it, twice. And I think every 2 months, I think it's like 6 times a year you have to take that shot. So, and I've been sticking with the pill myself, because I went 4 or 5 years off my medication. That's how I didn't know I had become full blown AIDS. That's when I was over in the Bluff then. But anyway, getting back to the parts. Okay, you might have wanted to ask something.
Oh no. The last question. What the last question was? Okay, we can move on to the next question then.
The benefits that I've gotten in this program. Is that what you was asking? Huh?
What you asked something off the cuff.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah. I deterred him somewhere else.
Yeah.
But anyway, the next question. What the next question? We'll come to the next question.
Okay. So, have you discovered or developed any new hobbies or interests for yourself since you've been in recovery and been sober?
One was going back to school.
Okay.
Yes, and
you don't told my I was gonna say that to the end.
Go ahead.
Perfect timing. Go ahead and say.
Because this program tells us about lost dreams or awaken and new possibilities arises, right? And I bought into that concept when I went back to school at the age of 60 years old, 60 years young, rather. Anyway, and I went to 3 different schools, and I just actually received my GED last week. That's what I didn't invite.
Awesome.
I didn't invite Robert to it.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. Wow.
Oh, there you go.
I was gonna save it to the end. I was gonna save it to the end. You gonna spoil it. Now I gotta put it out there now.
I mean, to get to that point, to be able to march across that stage, man, I'm still processing it.
That is, wow. That is amazing.
And it was like 3 days before I turned 68 when I marched.
Did you enjoy studying? Like, were you excited about just all of the classes? I feel like you were.
Yes, very excited, and I'm still hyped up about it because now I'm just
wondering
after what I'm going to do with myself. I'm not going to school every day, and now I'm looking into going to try to get enrolled into Georgia State.
Oh man!
Wow. Yeah, I can tell you're excited. I can feel it.
Now you finna make the devil really mad now because now you don't got a GED. Now you trying to get something I ain't got. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wow!
You know what I'm saying? That's how the devil gonna get really mad. No, now he trying to do too much. The people gonna be saying he doing too much now.
Oh man, just that. I mean, just grateful to be, given the opportunity to still being able to learn. Cause at one time I just thought I knew it all, right? Cause that's one reason why I quit school and completed the 10th grade, went to the 11th. I quit school to continue to work. I figured I needed to work rather than go to school. Working was more important. But I actually was afraid to go to school because they had just introduced algebra and fractions. I never thought I
was scared too. I
didn't think I would be able to grasp the concept. And then when I finally grasped the concept, I'm able to teach it to others. Like I got an online class, right, that I send people a link and teach them how to reduce fraction and just add and subtract. My great niece, I was teaching her how to add and subtract fractions. She's in 8th grade, just going to middle school now. But to teach these foreigners, like this lady from Somalia, I created this Zoom link, teaching her how to reduce fractions and how to isolate the variable, in algebra. Because that was mostly the math is about is the algebra, right? You get past that, but to finally get to that place of learning it, grasping the whole concept and able to teach someone else, that gives me the opportunity to learn it twice.
I love this. I do. Wow. Exciting.
Yes. It's just, I get excited even when somebody asks me about it.
Hey, wow. Okay. That sounds wonderful. I'm loving it. So I want to ask you another question about your emotional state. Like, so when you go through things now, like how do you handle any stress and emotions that you feel now with anything in life? Like what road do you take and what strategies do you use to deal with stress and emotions now?
Wow. Improve that conscious contact that I have with the God of my understanding. And I don't get to those dark places like I once was at one time, and mostly get to a place of acceptance, and try not to so much focus on the problem, try to focus on a solution.
That's key right there. Yeah. That is key, man, because that right there, and that's why I want to have you on, because that right there, that helped me. You know what I'm saying? That helped me stop focusing on the problem. So how can you solve what you feeling? You know what I'm saying? How can you solve an issue and not just wallow? Because a lot of people just wallow in their issues. They got issues, but they just wallow in it, and instead of trying to come up with a solution, man. So yeah, I like that. I like that right there. I like that answer right there, bro.
I mean, even the parts of this thing we call the serenity prayer helps me too. Change what you can and has to, accept what you change what you can and accept what you cannot, and ask your higher power or God to give you the wisdom to know the difference. Some things you might try to change, they're not going to be able to change.
So do you know the serenity prayer?
Huh?
Do you know the serenity prayer?
Yes, God.
I know you got to know it by heart now. Let everybody hear it, man. Because somebody might need to hear the serenity prayer, man. Go ahead and recite it. Let me give you the
It's a God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference just for the day.
Amen.
Amen. Amen,
And
man.
they have a and they have a longer version of it, and it kicks in with about God, like into his divine concept. Now that one, it's take a little more reading. I have to have that in front of me to read it out. And I got it around here somewhere, but I don't want to just stop and look for it.
Yeah, it's almost like saying instead of, I mean, it's okay to ask why, but it's almost like instead of asking why, ask what to do next.
There you go.
Yeah,
Stuff like that.
because we could get hung up in the why.
Yeah,
And then if it's something you can't change, it's like, well, what do I do now?
That's it, and mostly we talk about we can't change people, places, and things. We can only change ourselves or how we look at situations.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That's it, and like me, I used to try to change reality, but today I found that I have to accept reality.
You can't change it. You know what I'm saying? You can only change the role you play in it.
There you go. Like,
like
when I used to struggle with these here. I mean, I try not to hold resentments against people, but me and when a lady tell me a lie, right? And I don't hold it against me. Saying just because I keep my word, when I say I give my word out and I keep my word, and she give her word and don't. I was getting resentments, but I've gotten better with it now, though. People's gonna be people's.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, exactly. They're gonna be who they're gonna be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but my life is not perfect, but
Oh well, no one is, man.
Right.
No one is perfect, man. Only thing you can do is be the best version of you.
There you go.
And I'm proud to see that in you, striving to be the best version of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and we read a passage in one of our we call it the basic text. We actually study it, right? And it talks about if we were perfect, we wouldn't be human.
I know, right?
That's so true.
You'll be God.
That is so true. living in space and time, you can't be perfect. Not the way it is. Yeah.
And that's it. We have to accept our frailties.
Mhm.
Good, bad, and indifference.
That's right.
Just try to do better. That's it. That's all we can do. We talk about making progress, not perfection.
Because I look at time like it's the place to strive for perfection. Because once you're outside of time, you're perfect wherever you are. You're perfectly wherever you are. But in time and space, time gives you grace to like strive for it. So it's like today you should be a little bit better than you were yesterday. That's how I look at it.
There you go. That's the whole key right there, And that's it. And we talk about just keep making progress,
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I strive to do, man, and have I think sometimes, I look at this thing since when I went back to school. This lady I was in RLA. She was talking about we have two different mindsets. That there's a set mindset and there's a growth mindset. The set mindset would say, you make a mistake, then they'll say, I'll do better next time. But the growth mindset would look at and see where he went wrong and try to correct it.
Okay.
And that's the growth mindset. That's the growth mindset.
The growth mindset. You need to let me come to some of them classes in the ass, man. You know what I'm saying? You need to let me come to something. Let me ask you: Do you talk outside of? Do you get invited outside of the program to speak to people?
No more than
because I feel like you can be a good speaker outside of what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like you can be a good speaker outside of what you're doing, like talking to young kids or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. But they asked me to, be a keynote speaker, like they call it the Eagle Scout at the school I was at, right? To represent the school. And I asked me to get up and tell my story.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I think you can do that, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you have a way of talking about it, not glorifying it, but, you know, accepting what it was. You know what I'm saying? Accepting what it was and enjoying who you are now. You know what I'm saying? In the same moment. You know what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying?
I mean, that's it. You know, we talked about it in that first fellowship that I went to. They talk about like we don't close the door on the past, but we just can't. We don't want to stay there. You know, but just in other words, don't ever forget where you come from.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that your relationship with what is your relationship with yourself and others changed since you've been sober? You already mentioned the relationships have changed. Like people treat you better now, right? When they know you're doing right, they treat you right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they even come to me, ask me for some advice sometimes. They used to hate to see me coming, right?
Yvonne says, Milton, keep up the awesome work. Glory be to God. So
yes,
you've been a little fan club out here now, man. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get rid of you. You've been in your fan club, get too big. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, even though you was talking about speaking on different platforms, and you was the first one that invited me to come on the platform outside of when me tell my story. I tell my story at the recovery meetings, and that took a lot of getting over some nervousness,
Yeah, that's human nature, man. I mean, people. Yeah, being nervous is human. That means when you're nervous, that means you're genuine in what you're doing. Because every time I sing, I've been singing for a long time, and every time I grab that mic, I'm a nervous wreck until I say them first couple of notes. You know what I'm saying? Until I get that first. All right now.
and that's pretty much why I do it too, man. Even when I came on today, the nervousness don't subside until maybe I get into it. But coming into it, being nervous for me, it's just like letting me know who's really in charge.
I was thinking that. Yeah. I was thinking that.
Yeah. If you listen to someone, even Michael Jackson say he get butterflies when he sing. And he the greatest singer, probably the greatest singer of all time. So that's a natural feel. And I say it like this: if you don't feel nervous, something wrong with you. You ain't you doing it for the wrong reason.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're doing it for the wrong reason.
That's when that cockiness and arrogance. We have to show some what we call it humility.
Yes.
And that's I mean, we talk about like humility is the antidote to our diseased thinking for us who are trying to humble ourselves.
Absolutely.
And that's, man, even though like I look at all the 12 steps that I went through, like the first step teaches us about honesty. And then the second step talks about, being restored to sanity. And that's where the hope shot comes in. And then the third step, turning your will in your life, making a decision to turn your will in your life over to the care of God as you understand him. Right. And it gives me that freedom to choose the God of my understanding, not the fire and brimstone God that I was raised with my mom and dad and them, right? Because that's why I shied away from God. Because they say you tell a lie, you're gonna burn in hell. You're gonna, you steal. God don't want to have anything to do with you. All that kind of stuff. You do bad stuff, he ain't gonna want to have nothing to do with you. That's that was that punishing God. That's what I was raised with, right? And that fourth step helps me to sort through the contradiction and confusion of my life, right? We talk about our lives, but I had to get to my life, and there was a lot of contradiction and confusion with me with that fire and brimstone, because I didn't even know that God, I could have a God of my understanding, and the God of my understanding is loving, caring, and forgiving.
He's waiting on you're right. Man, I'm glad you say that. You said that, man, because a lot of people preach. I don't know. People preaching that way now, like God is God is just waiting to beat you down. Right. And I just see God. He's waiting for you to turn.
That's it.
He ain't waiting for you to just to beat you down. He's waiting for you to turn.
Yes. And
because he know our sinful nature already.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
He's waiting for us to turn so he can accept us. You know what I'm saying? And man, I'm glad you said that, man, because I'm getting something out of there. I knew I was gonna get something out of there too, my brother. So I set you up, man.
Okay. Yeah, man. Cause that gave me the courage to actually look at me, because I knew I had the God of my understanding with me. You know, like some things that you share about, you know, that moral inventory, right? You know, it's not only talking about what's right and what's wrong. It's talking about what's really going on with you, even with the trauma of your childhood. I started from my inventory started at the age of 10 up until the age of 60. And all that stuff that I had suppressed. And one of the biggest things that I had suppressed was being molested by my father. And I never would say that to a family member. And when I talked about it in with my sponsor, we was in this step study, and then I was able to release it more in therapy. You know, I see a therapist, right? I was diagnosed with a mental disorder, right? You know, we all have a little degree of mental illness, right?
Yeah, man.
Anyway, but to be able to release that chain that had been like being in bondage for so long, you know, like able to talk about it, you know, about being molested by your own father. You know,
oh, both say preach, my brother.
and there was so much freedom in that, right, for me. You know, and that was more heavier than me telling them. I mean, even though they had the HIV, being able to talk about having the HIV virus, and that together makes me more open. Like, you know, my life is more of an open book, you know, even though when I even had started helping people with like support groups and helping other recovering people that coming into the program that has HIV virus and were not open about their status. Stuff like I'm still part of the HIV support group right now, you know, and that helps me. Okay.
All right. So let me ask you this. So just judging from everything that you shared, you had your time with, you know, drug use and the reasons why, and, you know, the means of how you got the drugs and everything. What does a typical day look like for you today? Now that you're in the place that you're in?
Up until last week, it was my typical day was 3 hours of class, and then come home and do my ins and out, maybe do a little straightening and get me something to eat, and get ready for some law and order. You know, give me an hour of time, you know, like that. We call that part of my me time, right? Sometimes I get in there, you know, and then hit the books, get on my laptop and study. Like they have this study software they call Aztec that we can go on and do our study. And I put in maybe an hour and a half tops, you know, because, you know, and most of the time you want to, I was doing it like 2 and 3 hours, right? All I was doing just burning myself out and didn't even realize it. And that hour helps me along with that 2 or 3 hours a day in class. And then, you know, like on a typical Wednesday, I got a commitment that I go, it's a standing commitment that I made to go to host a 12-step meeting every Wednesday.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. A typical day.
Yeah.
Day in the life.
Yes, you know, and you know, just like, I mean, it's just like whatever comes up. Then sometimes, like the last Thursday of every month, I'm hosting another 12-step meeting, and some weekends I'll go up to my sister's house. She has like 26 years in recovery, and her husband passed about 3-4 years ago, right before the pandemic, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. But anyway, I go up there and do her yard. You know, she called it my yard now, though, right? You know, cause I go up there and cut the grass, and maybe if a tree fall, I put the chainsaw on it. Cause, you know, I'm retired from landscaping. I was in the landscape for 35 years, and that goes and keeps.
So that's what Bo get it from.
Yeah, no, probably so. But it keeps my landscape skills sharp, and you know, and I just enjoy doing that for her, you know, stuff like that. You know, just on a typical day, just mostly just now. Today I was like looking at this series going on Stars. It just ended yesterday. We called it Raising Canaan, and Raising Canaan kind of put me in the mind of when coming up in Bankhead Court in the 70s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you go way back to the 70s, man. They would.
Well, you know, that's when I left high school in 1974.
Oh yeah,
51 years ago, and I ended up getting my GED 51 years later.
what school you graduated from?
I didn't graduate. I went to Harper.
Oh yeah. Oh, right. So I'm about to spoil my. But see, I'm slow, man. You know what I'm saying? See, you so. I didn't know you went to Harper.
Yeah, man.
Oh, you're a Trojan in the house.
I'm a Trojan.
Oh, you're a Trojan. Well, okay, Trojan man.
One of the originals, you know. I got my buddy Skeet Row played basketball for us then. Him and his sister, and me and Marvin Gray, we played semi-pro basketball for Lincoln Home.
Oh, okay. What's up?
Yeah.
So let me ask you something. How do you celebrate your sobriety milestones?
Oh, wow. My celebration with every year, I celebrate between the 1st of January and the 10th. Right there at my home group, we call it Recovery at 6. We meet at this certain place called the Highland Club. We meet 4 days a week. And I'm typically there every Wednesday, but you know, when we celebrate you know, like we get us different speakers on my, you know, like anytime after the 30th of December, I'll celebrate each year.
Okay.
And my first year, I didn't want to celebrate because I was afraid. I had this feeling of impending doom. You know, like my little sister Lois died right after Thanksgiving. One of my younger sisters died. I was like 10 months clean, whatever, something like that. And then around December of that same year, a month later, my brother died. So I was about 11 months clean when she died. And then my brother, he died on December 3rd, the day after my mama's birthday. And that feeling of impending doom made me feel like that I shouldn't celebrate because my turn is next, because we all got high together. But then someone whispered in my ear said, the celebration is not for you. It's for you to show the next person coming behind you that this program works. Mm-hmm. And that resonated in my spirit. That made it so important that we do celebrate.
Oh, okay. What's up, man? Are you talking about the place where I came to see you? That's
why I celebrate. Actually, we just recently moved there 2 years ago. My first celebration, it was over on Custard Avenue, across the street where the old driver license place was at.
Yeah, because you know that's how you met my uncle there, right?
Yes.
Where did you meet my uncle at? Because I remember going to one of those for my uncle.
You was on Custard Avenue?
Yeah, it was over my old driver license place. Yeah.
Yeah, you came to my 4th year anniversary over there.
Oh, that was your 4th year then.
Yeah.
And it was your 10th year what is last year?
This year I just celebrated 10.
You just celebrate how many?
10 on January the 8th.
Okay, that was January. Okay, that was 10.
Yeah, that was
4 then.
Huh?
It was 4 when I went with my uncle.
Right. When me and you took this picture together, and I had this black and white scarf on. When I first took a picture with you over there, I think but then when that's the first time I had seen you at one of those meetings.
Oh yeah, I bet you said, well, who you here for?
Because I had posted on Facebook and didn't nobody show up, but you was the man from the old neighborhood. It was just like having family there, and that meant a lot though.
And that's why I showed up, because I know it meant a lot. It would give you more energy, man, to keep it going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't know how important it is to support their loved ones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and this is that same picture that you and I took.
Oh, you got me hanging on the wall. Oh man, you got the old hat. What is the one man, one mic, one guard hat on?
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
Hey man, you got me on the wall, man. I made the wall.
Hey, if I could show you all my different accomplishments, I got so many certificates, right? All over this wall, there's just plastered on one wall, right? And then all these other walls, I got different engagement that me and my daughter, we went on these different trips. She got me on this here thing called the Skyline, the Ferris wheel downtown Atlanta.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I have a fear of heights, right? And she gave me the balls to get on.
Man, that thing ain't high, man.
For me, it is. I can't lay no grass up there, you know.
Just don't look down, man. Just don't look down.
It got me up there dangling. The Ferris wheel just stopped, and I'm looking all over Atlanta, right? But you know, anyways, I'm just grateful for that. Me and her took this picture up there, man, and I got it plastered on my wall too. All those memorable moments, you know.
Yeah, man, it feels good. I'm glad you got. I'm excited. You got me real excited. Man. You got me hanging on the wall, man. People coming out and say, "Who recovery?" Yeah, people coming out and say, "Who is that dude?" You know what I'm saying?
And I said it with so gratefully tell them too.
Yeah, man. But look, man, I appreciate you inviting me, man. I trust me, man. I don't just show up for show. I show up because I feel like I have a duty to show up. I feel like God gave me it's a duty to show up. You need to show up. I think God led me to do that. God led me to do that because I think God wanted to show you. God, I don't know what you know. How God, He works in mysterious ways, man. And I was excited to go, and I was waiting the whole week to go. I wanted to make sure I didn't forget.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I tend to forget stuff when people say, hey, man, I'm doing something. And then it'll be Thursday, it'll be Wednesday, but I remember it Thursday. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I would remind the gym. I think I would tell the gym.
I was just getting ready to say, you was telling me in advance, like, I'm getting ready to go. You text me pictures and everything.
Yeah.
He was excited about it.
I was excited because I'm excited. I was excited for you as you were for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because when you know, like I said, when you know, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you know where people come from.
I mean,
how hard it could be. You know. I'm just proud of you, man. I'm serious. I'm seriously proud.
Even your uncle finding out that he was your uncle was so. It's me and him. Was part of this thing called the CPP panel, right? We call it the CPP panel. I'm still on that same panel right now. I got on it in 2019. And the CPP panel is the convention planning panel, and we have a convention once a year, and we do fundraisers throughout the year to get to this big. We call it the big dance, right? And Alvin was the facility was the chairperson that year, and he actually gave me $100 to get a hotel room for the night because I was still getting my SSI, you know, and I couldn't afford to stay, and they wanted me on site, you know, and I paid for one night, and they paid for the other 2 nights.
That's what's up, man.
And me and him been tight ever since, and that what stayed me on that committee. We call it being of service to others, right? And then in that connection to being connected to this worldwide fellowship, and that's a part of that worldwide fellowship is putting on these conventions. We have people coming from different countries, different states, coming to be these grandiose speakers, right? You know, and we have this connection, you know, like. Part of the worldwide fellowship is coming together. And then they have one called the World Convention, but we have these local conventions still invite people from the world.
Yeah, man. Uncle Ali, yeah, man. To me, he was the last surviving sibling on my dad's side.
Right.
Of the family. He was the last.
I didn't even know he was your dad, brother.
Yeah, he my dad, brother, man. You know,
we came to y'all grandmama. We came to y'all grandmama. I came to the funeral. And he showed up. He said, I didn't even know you knew them walkers like that. I said, yeah, they family. Yeah. And me have been tight ever since.
Yeah, if you see him, you see my daddy. I mean, they sounded alike, they looked alike. And that's why my sister, we so drawn to him because he was the I think he was a baby. Yeah, he was the baby boy. He was a baby too.
I mean, Bob, I knew I told him I remember Bob, but I never knew him.
Oh yeah,
I met your uncle in recovery.
Yeah,
I was a real
small
little
world, man.
I was very young. Man. I might have been almost 11 years old when we moved to Bankhead, something like that. You know, and that's been a lot of years ago. You know, for me to be almost 70 now.
Wow. You have a wealth of experience, like with just in this little bit of time. Like I feel like I'm full just from listening to you. My goodness. So
So, which leads me to ask you this:
Yes.
what advice would you give someone um, with the struggles that they have right now and may continue to have with their addiction? Like, would you like what kind of advice would you give them while where they're at now if they're struggling?
Oh,
Even if they're knee deep in it, maybe trying to come out of it, like what advice would you give them? Because you've been through all the stages. Like you're in a good place, but you've been through a lot. And so what would you tell somebody who's actively struggling and or trying to come out of it?
first to get to a place of acceptance that you need help.
Okay.
Because I stayed in that denial stage for so long, because I was like at this place saying that I can quit anytime I get ready.
Mm.
And found out I couldn't, because it became not only just getting high for recreation or just for fun, became a necessity.
Okay.
Because it's like using it one moment and then you cross this invisible line, you can't come back.
Okay. Wow.
And that's the only way I can describe it. But to help somebody with it, to get to that place of acceptance and ask for help.
Okay.
And if not, you have my number. I'll just, be willing. We call it like willing to sponsor one another, and that's why I want to go to school, to be a peer support counselor, right? But I kind of sponsor people now. They call that counseling, but I'm not certified.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I hate when they make you have to, when you already doing something.
Yep.
They say
When
you
you're
can't
qualified.
do it. I'm already doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they make you work to get that paper.
Yeah,
That's it. Yeah.
And you're already qualified. Yeah.
And mostly they used to the qualification used to be you going to be an addiction. I mean, not an addiction counselor, but we call it peer support counselor. And that's part of, they call it CARES. And they used to just have 2 years clean and sober. You can be one. But then they changed it, like more than, you have to have multiple years clean and sober along with the high school diploma or GED.
Okay, so here's a scenario. I'm struggling. I'm strung out. You know me. You pull up on me. What you gonna say to me?
What's going on, my brother? How's it going? What you got going on? Are you willing to change? That's what it's all about, change. But you have to be willing. Can't nobody make you do it. I can't even pray on you. I pray for you, like they did for me, because they couldn't. I mean, it ain't. It's about stopping, but then again, it's not about stopping. What it's all about is staying stopped. Because I stopped plenty of times when I ran out of money, but I never stayed stopped.
So you ran out of money, so you had no choice, right?
That's it. But you did stop though. But the key is staying stopped. That's what I do today.
Because I know a lot of people sometimes they be addicted to drugs and they go to jail for a couple of months and they get out and they get right back on it. I'm like, you had time to, cold turkey it, but that must not be how it works, then, right?
No, they just didn't have the mindset that they wanted to quit. But you have to get to that place, though. You have to. It don't happen overnight. It didn't happen overnight for me. Because I was
like, you have to want it bad enough to.
Exactly. I mean, we had this thing about, like, it's not only just for the people that need it, it's for the people that actually want it. Yeah. But it was just like, for me, it was I'm the person that needed it, but I didn't even want it. I didn't. If I had found a way to continue to use drugs and not suffer the consequences, like losing my health and my life and being homeless and unmanageable and my mind, I'd probably be still doing it. But it took my bottom to get to that bottom.
Well, I hate to say that I'm glad you got to a bottom, but if that bottom makes you get back to the top, I'm glad you got to the
Yeah, man. So it's just like how God had to break you down to build you back up.
Yep. Sometimes he put you in the place, man. Sometimes he'll put you in a place to bail you out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then all my it's all my brokenness, is just part of the building now. That's the recovery process for me.
Yeah, and the way I look at it, like the beauty of consequences that are negative is to give you grace to have a turnaround.
Yes, if you
because it didn't destroy you.
So
God was with you the whole time to give you that space to get low enough to turn around.
I mean, that's so true. Because I didn't see it. I didn't see it at the time, but today I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have you ever been approached with writing a book?
Actually, the lady friend of mine, she asked me, have I ever thought about writing a book? But I've never been talking about by professionals.
Yeah, I'm talking about, it don't have to be 1,000 pages. Yeah. I mean, the stuff we just talked about, that's a book. You got a book. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I think you should pursue it, because you might help somebody. It could be 1 or 2 people out of 1,000 people that you might help. You know what I'm saying? And that those 1 or 2 people might go on to be somebody great. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you just never know what God is doing. So, and that's why I want you to come tell your story. Your story, it helped me some today. You don't have to be a drug addict for you know what I'm saying? It's just a story of redemption. That's why I call it the redemption story. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what I call it. I didn't call it the drug rehabilitation story. It's a redemption story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so, listen. But if you get the space and time, listen, go for it, man.
Oh yeah,
man. Do it, man. And I try to tell people, man, don't take stuff to your grave with you. My whole thing of me doing music, I don't want to take it to my grave with me. I don't want to be in a place where I'm at the end and I'm saying I had a talent and I didn't even try. I mean, I had a story to tell and I didn't even try. I had some songs to write and I didn't even try to write them. I don't want to be in that space. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean,
you're a great speaker. You're a great speaker.
Yeah, you're a great speaker.
So a book would be, if you did a book, it would be another resource. You're a great speaker.
Oh, thank you.
So, compliment you on that.
Thanks.
Yep. So what does a fulfilling life looks like for you today? A fulfilled life. That's when you purpose, destiny, all of that. What does that look like for you today?
Oh, wow. Being able to help others, and we, in my opinion, in helping others that in this life form, that's closer we can get to God, and instead of being a child of God, and keep reminding myself.
Man, you just keep dropping gems and dimes. You keep dropping gems, man. I know what I'm saying. Say what you just said again. Say what you just said again. They're going to be on the promo tomorrow. Say that part right. Say what you just said again.
About being able to help others.
Yeah. Say it.
And in this life form, that's the closest we can get to God by helping others.
That's the closest we can get to God. Oh, my goodness. Lord have mercy.
I love it.
This whole interview was for me to hear that right there.
Wow.
For me to hear that right there.
Man.
And you're a living example of overcoming.
Can you give me a minute to use the restroom right quick?
Yeah.
Go ahead, my brother. Go ahead.
I hope everybody is enjoying this interview, because this has been so uplifting for me, and like I said, I feel full off of this.
Yeah, we won't let you use the bathroom. We come back after these messages.
Yeah,
now this is a first right here. We ain't never had nobody had to use the bathroom in the middle of the interview.
No.
So maybe we should have talked. Maybe we should have told them.
Take a break.
Go use the bathroom before you come on.
Wow, this has been great.
Yeah, but I'm thrilled. The man got that picture of me and him hanging on his wall at home. Man, I'm thrilled about that, you know.
Because you're showing up in his life, like you're supporting him, and he values that. And why not? Why not have a picture of you together on that wall? Great support.
Yeah, yeah. What's up, Kirsten? How you
Hey,
doing,
Kirsten.
girl? And we gonna get you on here too, Kirsten, to tell your story. We gotta hit. Well, you got a lot to talk about too, girl. We gotta get you. You know what I'm saying? And this is what this show is about, y'all. This is what this show is about, man. We try to highlight people in the community, man. We got people right up under us, man, doing great things. We got writers and authors and you know, people just doing great things, man, in high positions that right up under us. And we going all on the internet trying to find inspirational stories. And we got people right in our community with inspirational stories to tell. Oh, you're back, my brother.
Oh yeah, I heard you say something about like after these messages, he'd be right back.
Yeah, but see, we almost at the finish line, man. I understand you couldn't hold out, man. You're older cat, so.
Yes, you know, and me and my medication I take, they help keeps me flushed out anyway.
Yeah, you ain't got to get us all in your private being now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, my life is an open book. You know.
Look, he's an everyday person.
Yeah,
okay,
he's an
so
everyday person, man.
I love it.
Everyday
we adults
we
here.
call it everyday peoples, right?
Right, it's okay.
Yeah, that might have been too much information though.
Yeah, so we on the final question, man. You already spoiled my ending.
Finale question,
man.
Okay.
What emotions? I remember. You graduated high school too, so I remember walking across that stage. I was what 18. I had just turned 18 years old. Sure. I remember walking across that stage, man. I was happy. It was one of the most happiest time of my life because I didn't think I was gonna graduate. Yeah, because I was like a CD student, man. So I was happy, man. So that was, you know what I'm saying? I was happy, man. I graduated on time. So what emotions were you feeling when you walked across the stage and received your GED at age what?
3 days before I turned 68.
3 days before you turned 68. What was you feeling in that moment, man?
Man, that feeling the only way I could sum it up with just total gratitude. Like on top of the world. Man.
I like that. Gratitude.
So did y'all see the cap and gown? Let me show you about the cap. Y'all see that cap and gown, man?
Wow. That's inspiring. That has to be inspiring for like younger people that
it's definitely
may
inspiring.
feel like, oh, I'm just too, up there in age to achieve something like that. That is amazing.
Man.
Absolutely, boy. You put that. When you got the cap and gown hanging there? I don't know where my cap and gown is, man.
I got it wrapped in plastic, right?
You got it wrapped in plastic.
Hang it on the hanger. It was a one-time thing because the school furnished some of the people's theirs, but I ordered mine on Amazon and paid $33 for it.
Oh, that was something, man. It's worth it, man. It's worth it.
It was dropped in the bucket because they were saying, you ain't going to use it but one day. I said, but still, it was just.
Yeah, I know, right?
I know, right?
That's your souvenir.
I know.
Yeah, that's my souvenir to remind me,
I get a mannequin and put it on now. Have it in the living room.
Hey, you might be giving me some ideas.
Or bling the hat out. Today they bling the caps out. Now they put all kind of stuff on it. Like,
it was these two young ladies that was in front of me. They was all bleamed out, and all on them. Then I said, Mine came maybe 24 hours before I graduated, because Amazon delivered, they were cutting it close, School was going to give me mine, but I say, I'm going to wait on it. But just in case they don't come, I'm going to borrow the one from the school, but I had my own though.
Yeah, because I was kind of a little disappointed, man. I went there, man, but you know what I'm saying? But I understand you was excited and you forgot to say, hey man, come on through at your boy, man. You know what I'm saying? Walk across the stage. I would have been, how they hit me them graduation, they be hollering.
Yeah.
Milton Creamer. Ah, Milton!
I had a couple of cheerleaders. My sponsor, he was there.
Yeah, I would have embarrassed you, man. So
my sponsor and my sponsor's sister and this nurse from the recovery center, she came out.
I'd have called you by your hood name. I'd have called you Hulk. Hulk! That's not gonna say hood Hulk.
A couple, I think my sponsor, he about the only one to know me by that name. But he called me Hawk Album sometime. And he asked me where did I get that nickname from. I was out there on them streets of Bankhead Coat playing basketball.
Bankhead Coat, man. The Hulk.
The old Hawkeye. I think Luke started calling me that, or Danny Burdett.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, actually they got it confused. It's the story when I was a child, right? It take my grandmama to tell it that we was raised in the country, and I always used to get down from the table and go to where they had they called it a slop jar. I mean, slop bucket full of bread and water for feed it to the hogs. And say I would crawl down and go and get into that rather than eat from the table. And they start calling me HOG, hog. And I didn't like hog.
I know you glad that one didn't stick.
I didn't like hog, right? So the hog stuck though.
The hog stuck. Yeah, that sounds better than hog. Well, anyway, man, listen, man. We enjoyed you, man, tonight, man. We really enjoyed you. I can't say much. What's up, Pa? We really enjoyed you coming on, man, sharing your story, man. From beginning to the middle to now. You know what I'm saying, and letting us in on what's going on for the future. What you got going on in the future. So we're gonna let you say anything that you want to add before we go that we ain't touched on, you want to talk about. Gene, you got something you want to ask him before we let him get the flow, before we shut it down? Let me give you a hand. Hold on, y'all.
Yes.
Y'all get a man a hand. In the comment, y'all put them clapping hands on this man. Put the clapping hands on the man. You know what I'm saying? We gotta lift people up, man, in our community, man. And this is what this show is about. Lifting people up right up under our nose.
I mean, the big lift for me was the invite. I appreciate that.
Hey, man, and you're welcome to come on anytime you want, man. I don't know you want to talk about all the other trash topics like P. Diddy. People waiting around to see what P. Diddy. They're going to have P. Diddy.
I mean, I see that in the news, too, and talk about the beautiful bill that Trump got.
The beautiful bill.
Big, beautiful bill.
Yeah, so how did they come up with that one?
That's what I said.
Hey, man, Trump is one thing about Trump. He's a master of disguises. He gonna call it beautiful, so you think it's something nice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they lure you in.
Yeah. So go ahead, Jen.
I want to ask this. Where do you see yourself in 5 years with the things that you're working on now and that you just do with the recovery group? Where do you see yourself?
Oh, hopefully in the near future to be an addiction counselor.
Okay. I see it.
Still trying to continue to help others.
Okay.
And I found out in the midst of helping others, we actually help ourselves.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That got another gem. You keep dropping them off.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, man, we had the parting comments, man. So we're gonna give you the flow for however long you want the flow. Not however long though. We got 5 minutes in the show. So, you got at least 5 minutes to say what you want to say, man. And we gonna shut it down, man. Like once again, man, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying? And we love you, man, and you can't even do nothing about it. So the floor is yours, man. Go ahead.
Oh man, I thank you all for the invite, and I love you guys as well, and appreciate the opportunity to get up and just talk about me. Who else who can talk about you better than you, right? And I just have to give the glory to God, for allowing me to have this opportunity to be able to present myself in a different way today. And just like talk about being a grandfather, I get the opportunity to be a grandfather and get the opportunity to be a dad and get the opportunity to be on your show. And for that, I am truly grateful.
Okay, once again, man, we appreciate you, man.
Yes, for sure.
You know, man, you know I'm here. If I can make it, I'm coming. You know what I'm saying? If I ain't got nothing to do, if you need me to show up, I'm there, my brother, because I respect the man you are. I always respect you, even in your rough days. But now, man, it's almost like I see you like an uncle to me, man. You like an uncle to me that I just got a lot of respect for you, man, and I'm happy for you. I'm glad. I'm proud of your transformation, man. I'm glad you allowed God to sit you down for a second, talk to you. You know what I'm saying? To get you in a place you are now, man. And I'm excited about your future. I think God got better things for you to do, even better things for you to do, my brother. So stay strong, my brother.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And this is my first time meeting you outside of all the conversations I've had about him talking about you. So I knew about you before I just met you.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I like what you just said when you said that you were grateful to be able to present yourself as you are today. Like, I love that.
Thank you.
And I'm so glad you got my picture on your wall so your grandchildren got to know who that dude is.
Hey, what was your co-host? What's your co-host name?
Jenny, man, Jennifer.
Jennifer, okay, Jennifer.
I never did put our name up there. Okay.
You don't know you. You don't know who you are.
That's Jenny from the block, man.
Okay, nice to meet you, Jenny from the block.
That's a nickname he gave me. But it's nice to meet you as well. Yes.
Yeah, I got nothing but love and respect for you as well, Robert.
All right, man. Appreciate you, man. Go on, get you something to eat, man, and we appreciate you again, man.
Actually, I had just cooked and ate dinner right before I came on.
What you eat? What you eat? What you eat today?
I made some brown with stew and corn muffin.
Oh, that sounds
Who
good.
cooked
with an apple crisp for dessert and a glass of Kool-Aid.
Who cooked it?
Actually, they got me on this meal program called Healthy Meals.
Oh yeah.
And they actually send them to me, and I have to season them myself.
That's
nice. Okay. Then what's up then, man?
Yeah.
Hey man, once again, man, we appreciate you, man. I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I keep saying I'm proud of you, man. Keep going, man. Keep going. You know. All right. Thank you, my brother.
You're welcome, man. Thank you.
All right, man.
Peace out.
Peace.
Wow, that was amazing.
Wow, that was a pretty good interview right there.
I feel like I can fly now. Like,
you feel like you can fly?
Yeah. just so like uplifted. Like, that's how I feel.
Yeah, but I knew it. I knew it. God led me to. I knew it was gonna be uplifting. I knew it was gonna be more than just talking about drugs. It was gonna be something everybody can get from it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm ecstatic. I'm proud of the man. You know what I'm saying? So, what? You like you finna cry or something?
Well, you know, I'm full right now. So I just truly appreciate it.
So listen, y'all. Listen, what's it? Okay, it's 9 o'clock. It's time to get up out of here, y'all. Listen, we appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. We really appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all could be watching any TV show right now. Y'all could be doing anything in the world, anything y'all want to do right now, other than watching me and Jen right here. But we hope we making y'all proud or entertained or what you call it? What we say? We hoping y'all are entertained. Are you entertained? Like Shaq say, are you entertained?
Hey, like entertained, inspired, uplifted, educated, all of those things. You know, just a mixture.
Yeah, and if y'all know anybody who wrote a book, who in an organization they want to talk about, somebody with some viable information for the community, let us know, man. Y'all just let us know. We'll bring y'all on and we'll interview y'all. And we're gonna. But here's the thing: we're gonna research y'all too. Now we're gonna see if y'all legit. We're looking to some more people. Authors we got coming on up in the next couple of weeks. So y'all just support people, man. When we bring the people on with selling a book, y'all go get the book, man. You know what I'm saying? Support the people in your own community. I'll be hearing people talking about, I'll read these many books. But how many books have you read from people you know? So if people write up on us with a story to tell your story, y'all. Tell your story. What's your testimony? Yep. What's your testimony? He saw the best in me, everyone else around me. Oh, I know somebody, you need to go on, shut it down.
Oh my goodness.
But listen, y'all, we're gonna give y'all a hand because we love y'all. Yes. We love y'all, man. Give y'all a hand. Give y'all self a hand. Give y'all a hand. Appreciate y'all for tuning in on a serious note, man. Yes. Hopefully we can grow this platform to be able to help people, man. You know what I'm saying? Grow their platform. And somebody said something. Oh, that's what's up, sir? You tuned in today. What's going on? Sam. How you doing? What's going on? Sandra Claude. What's going on, girl? But anyway, y'all, we finna get up out of here, man. We love y'all. Thank y'all for Thank y'all for tuning in to the Overflow, the Everyday People Show. This is the only show with me, you, your mom, and your cousin to get to come on and chop it up. If you want to come on live, holler at your boy. But anyway, we finna get up out of here, y'all. We love y'all. And tell them, Jen.
Ain't nothing y'all can do about it.
Ain't nothing y'all can do about it.